No sound? Nah. There's sound. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take these off. That way there's only my camera, so that way it doesn't mess anything up. Oh, new tapes, 1972 and 1973. And then, V3 for 1961 and 1961 and 1962. And then 1968 and 1969 have volume 2. So 1961 and 1962. 1968 and 1969 has V2. New tape is 1972 to 1973. All right, let's watch it.
Has come from opposition leaders who felt they had to say something to protect their positions. Even they have not blamed Tew for the communist successes.
Keep track of the numbers too, guys, that pop up on the screen.
Dependent on the support he gets from Washington. He is the American choice to run Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
We are certifying the
Next certain
through the Constitution of the United States.
That amendment, as you know, provides for the right to vote of all of our young people between 18 and 21. 11 million new voters as a result of this amendment.
A massive shock rippling out of the mountains just north of the San Fernando Valley. Hitting here, missing there, but shaking most of Southern California. Fires everywhere.
I think Pete's absolutely right about this medical job. This is the first time we've ever had the space available to really adequately test a guy up there to see how he behaves under zero gravity for long periods. So we really don't know what's going to happen to the guy in the long term. And this is probably, to my mind, the single most important thing that we've got to do in Total Skylab is find out whether man himself does have a future in space in terms of making long journeys to somewhere else.
Now people are beginning to pick up the pieces.
What are you looking for down there?
Money and all sorts of things like spoons, forks, and knives, parts of mirrors, parts of plates, razor blades.
Have you found anything?
Yep, money, spoons, razor blades.
How much money did you find?
$4.98.
How long are you going to keep digging?
Till I have to go home.
I will only say that I've had some experience, and a great deal of experience, as a matter of fact, in this past year in dealing with communist leaders.
7.
I find that making a bargain with them is not easy. And you get something from them only when you have something they want to get from you. The only way we're going to get our POWs back is to be doing something to them, and that means hitting military targets in North Vietnam, retaining a residual force in South Vietnam, and continuing the mining of the harbors of North Vietnam.
Apollo 16 lifts America back into space and gives our astronauts a dune buggy tour of lunar land.
Okay. I think that it's interesting to consider what Margaret Mead said about women who are honored in authority in this country. She said that, in fact, widows are the only such women, because what you have to do is be married to a man who has a certain position, live out your role of childbearing and housekeeping, then, through no fault of yours, he dies, and then alone is it all right for you to take over his job. We've decided that that's awfully hard on the men.
$25 again for a third time in a row. 25 seems to be a number that is very common in this.
Aquí están dos jóvenes madres con dos hermosas niñas que las abrazan.
At this rally in Silver Spring, Maryland, Governor Wallace's campaign is crushed by violence. Arthur Bremer, seen applauding a 21-year-old busboy, uses the cover of the crowd and the confusion to get close enough to the candidate for an attempted assassination.
Today was the critical operation for the governor to remove a bullet lodged near his spinal column and to find out whether the bullet had cut his spine.
No Warzone coordinates yet.
A controversial day in politics. A man arrested trying to bug the offices of the Democratic National Committee in Washington turns out to be an employee of President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign committee. And perhaps a significant day for the Vietnam peace negotiations. The president of the Soviet Union has left Hanoi, saying they will resume soon.
Mother Nature unleashes the fury of Hurricane Agnes across 4 states: Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York. 134 lives are lost. Thousands are homeless.
9, which was yesterday.
I can assure you that as Secretary General of this organization, I am deeply worried about this development. It is extremely serious. And it is for this reason that I decided on my own, I want to stress this, to put this question of terrorism and acts of violence on the agenda of the next General Assembly.
Next stop, Moscow. Purpose, a summit meeting between President Nixon and Soviet leaders Brezhnev and Kosygin. Agreement is reached on limitations of nuclear weapons, the sale of American wheat to the Soviets, and a trade of beverages, our soft drinks for their vodka. Another victory for personal diplomacy on a global scale.
In a field 4 miles from London Airport.
Not gonna
the tail section was intact, but the body of the plane
You know
was
what?
demolished.
With the Paris peace talks stalled, the Vietnam War
This
worsens.
tape is talking about every location that was given in
Responding to
that
a
first day,
devastating
that
Vietnam
launch,
offensive, President
on the
Nixon
clocks.
orders new measures.
They're talking about each location. They've talked about Paris. They've talked about London. They've talked about New York.
Vietnamese naval operations from these ports.
But Gordon wasn't.
And they've talked about Moscow.
Apparently to talk about a new peace effort. He said the visit was successful and that the Soviet Union will do everything it can to bring about a de-escalation of the Vietnam War.
Paris continues to be the focal point of world attention. American negotiators arrive for another in a long series of peace talks with the North Vietnamese. Presidential aide Henry Kissinger, a key figure in the lengthy and complex conferences, sounds a premature note of hope. We believe
federal indictments Washington
54.
today in the Watergate bugging affair.
In spite of the increased security, West Germany continues to offer political asylum to hijackers from communist countries. Just last week, the West German government refused to return 10 Czechoslovakians who killed a pilot during their hijack escape to the West.
As you know, I will soon be visiting the People's Republic of China, the Soviet Union. I go there with no illusions. We have great differences with both powers. We shall continue to have great differences. But peace depends on the ability of great powers to live together on the same planet despite their differences. We would not be true to our obligation to generations yet unborn if we failed to seize this moment
to do everything in our power to ensure that we will be able to talk about those differences rather than to fight about them in the future.
Peking, historic site for an unprecedented meeting between East and West. Responding to a special invitation, President and Mrs. Nixon arrive, and Premier Zhou Enlai is on hand to extend an official welcome to the presidential couple. It's Mr. Nixon's initial move toward his self-proclaimed goal, a generation of peace. A confident president, anxious to end the diplomatic freeze between the United States and China.
7.
Top aide Henry Kissinger joins the talks with Premier Zhou Enlai
Appeared earlier.
Vietnam
So
and
2
East-West
7s?
trade. The First Lady views giant pandas, a gift of the People's Republic. Personal presidential diplomacy tentatively parts the bamboo curtain.
His condemnation of U.S. military actions in Vietnam and revealing he brought back assurances from Hanoi about the release of American prisoners of war.
Including the foreign minister. Talked for well over an hour with the prime minister. 2 hours and 45 minutes with
Ethan, what's up, man? Ryan, what's up?
Foreign minister. And I've got both verbal and written assurances about the prisoners.
Clarence
this
Kelly,
new
the
tape
president's
also
choice
has
to be permanent head of the FBI, cleared the Senate Judiciary Committee today. We'll have reports tonight on the economy, and we'll see what happened to a fat man who had part of his insides cut out in an effort to be a thin man.
Wow. You mean liposuction?
Of the Egyptian capital. Euphoria. After 5 lean years, there are signs that Egypt is about to stand on its own feet. They are cheering this man. It was then that President Anwar Sadat dropped his diplomatic bomb. He announced that the Russians had been asked to withdraw their advisors from Egyptian soil after nearly a decade of Soviet-Egyptian cooperation.
Televised violence can increase aggressive tendencies in some children. We will have to manage our program.
I congratulate you.
What number was that? I didn't see that because I was typing something.
Ballot of the International Olympic Committee. Out of 70 ballots, 36 were to withdraw the invitation to the Rhodesian team, 31 were for maintaining it, and 3 were blank. This means the invitation to the Rhodesian team to participate in the games of the 20th Olympiad has been withdrawn.
The Rhodesians left angry. Representatives of Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and Uganda were jubilant. The expulsion of Rhodesia culminated a campaign that saw American black athletes pledge to walk out with the Africans. Now their teams, they say, will unpack their suitcases, give up their threatened boycott, and the Summer Olympics can go on.
Munich houses the Olympic flame as athletes from all over the globe gather for the traditional games. Officials hope that world tensions will not create an incident.
President's press secretary said of this incident, I'm not going to comment from
Wouldn't
the White
surprise
House
me if the
on a
Warzone code came at the end.
burglary attempt. Obviously, he said, we don't condone that kind of second-rate activity. There was little Republican reaction today to the charges that they mounted a massive intelligence and sabotage operation against the Democrats.
Without moving a chess piece, he emerged world champion. Spassky had phoned the judge and conceded to the stronger position Fisher had achieved at adjournment the night before.
In Paris, on Avenue Kléber, in a former Gestapo headquarters, politicians have been talking for 4 years about ending a war.
Most of the single digits have had a zero before it.
The Paris peace talks, hailed as a major breakthrough in 1968, have by 1972 achieved nothing. The delegates still turn up, make accusatory speeches, and leave. And yet in other parts of Paris, secret meetings between Americans and North Vietnamese did attempt to break the deadlock. The American initiative was led by President Nixon's special advisor, Dr. Henry Kissinger. Since 1970, he has met North Vietnamese leaders 12 times.
We're going to watch the other tapes too.
He offered much of what the communists demanded: the withdrawal of American forces and new elections in South Vietnam. But all offers were rejected or ignored, and the whole American formula publicly rebutted by Hanoi.
Apollo 17, first nighttime launch in history. The body of former Chief Executive Harry S. Truman lies in state. Death came at 88 after a long and typically courageous struggle with illness. Former President and Mrs. Johnson and President and Mrs. Nixon attend rites.
President, are you ready to take the constitutional oath? If you will place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, and please repeat after me. I, Richard Nixon, do solemnly swear.
I, Richard Nixon, do solemnly swear.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Alexander Butterfield drops a bombshell. The president has secretly taped all of his White House conversations, including those involving Watergate. The president had already installed a new attorney general to handle Watergate. Harvard law professor Archibald Cox becomes special prosecutor. Picking up the gauntlet, Cox goes before Sirica to subpoena the elusive
There it is.
In his client's behalf, Charles Allen Wright pleads confidentiality to deny Cox's demand. Sirica owes Cox. He is in turn upheld by the Court of Appeals.
So,
the abrupt departure of Cox and Richardson
729-48531. So where's H8? H6 was farmland. H8 might also be farmland as well.
Two of the key tapes mysteriously disappear. In 18 minutes of another tape turn up blank.
Where's that prison? Is that the shack?
Presidential Secretary Rosemary Woods blames it on a variety of miscues. Nevertheless, the House Judiciary Committee, under the chairmanship of Peter Rodino, is convened to consider impeachment.
While the president
I think that's the shack.
that he did not realize or appreciate.
Is it prison or is it like the shack next to prison?
And I think that when the facts come out,
we went on the pay board in an effort to try to make the controls work, but it's now very clear that there's no real attempt to control inflation. The only real attempt is to control the wages of working people.
In the House of Representatives, there is not a member left who thinks the president will not be impeached, and apparently not many who will side with him when it comes to a vote.
Okay, so I do have a feeling that's the shack. Yeah, it's probably the shack. So I'm not going to go there. There's going to be so many people that it's such a small shack, bro. And there's so many people that are going to go there. It's the left side of prison. So if we go, I guess we can look at it in game though. Like I'll look at the map or whatever. We can just like kind of determine it. Yo, if we have 100 people in here, so if you guys could leave like a like, if we get 150 likes, it'd be awesome. Appreciate all you guys coming through, man. I'm not gonna check the shack, but I'm gonna check the coordinates. It's the shack, yeah. Get through. Nah, dude, it's such a small shack, and I'm really not trying to do this right now. I think you know what, you guys want to? We should just like watch Noah J, right? Honestly, I want to see it. I want to see it. So like, we're probably gonna just watch Noah J. So let's go to YouTube. Let's watch Noah J. Where is he? Here he is.
Yeah, I saw the Treyarch Instagram story. I hope this gives something, like, I don't know if the
to control the wages of work.
Isn't it awesome how I call stuff, right?
version 3s are going to
see,
change.
The thing about Noah J is he normally has people
every
helping
single
him,
day,
so like,
and they add more numbers to it. Has anyone been able to look at the look at the version 2 and version 3 of the tapes and see if there's more numbers?
Now you deploy to the Warzone.
Has anyone been able to check? Bro, I'm excited to get it. I think this is the one. Isn't this the one with the RCXD in it?
Yeah, it's the shack with the RCXD. We're gonna watch the other tapes. So let's watch the first one.
Here was a new symbol of communist ruthlessness.
We're gonna see.
Overnight, East Berlin became a concentration camp, sealing in the inhabitants of that sector. Barbed wire and cement were the answers to the refugee problem.
We're gonna wait till actually we'll see when. Okay, so he's going in now.
Don't lead them in.
3008 3750. Holy crap, they added more numbers to it. Wait, they actually added that many more numbers to it?
So apparently, yeah, there's more numbers that got added to the first one.
Wait, are y'all serious? Yeah, we gotta float for a minute here. Dude, there's that many new numbers? All the tapes of color codes? Yeah, I saw. How are you possibly supposed to get that many numbers? You know what I mean? Like, how are you supposed to use that many numbers? Because it doesn't change the original numbers, it just adds more numbers to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, chat. What are we supposed to do? What is this game?
Heading out.
I literally don't look at all of them. Look at the army of Street Snipers, boys. We ride. We ride, chat. We ride.
See, I don't mind watching Noah J. After yesterday, I'm just fed up with
this is
trying
insane.
to go for it.
Look how many there are.
You for no fucking reason. So.
Jeez Louise. Hopefully everyone's cool. Hopefully we don't have that one guy this time around.
fucking yesterday, bro. Letter kept dying to the same fucking people, bro.
Disregard that.
Disregard that.
Look at all the helis and everything too, bro. Like that's so crazy.
All
Like,
right,
you
boys.
can see like people on the on the right side.
Hopefully
They're like not
this shack
trying
has some
to
cool stuff
like
in it.
cut anyone up or anything like that. This is so wild.
Bro, this is actually nuts. This is actually nuts. All right, come on, boys.
Watch the skies.
Dude,
What's
this
up,
is
everyone?
so wild.
Enemy UAV overhead.
What's up, y'all? All right, let me. Sorry, buddy. Okay, so 72948531. Okay, it's open. Oh my
shit.
God, there are
Holy
too
shit,
many
bro.
people. There are too many people, dude.
same
Yep,
shit.
saw that one coming. Saw that one. Oh my God, this is. How am I supposed to do anything? It's literally half the lobby. It's literally half the lobby. How am I supposed to do anything?
That was nasty. I ain't gonna front, bro. That was nasty. So now, I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna front, bro.
Hey, stream snipers, y'all can come back. Stream snipers, y'all can come back in. Can everyone just leave? Can everyone just stand outside for a second? Oh my God. What? How am I? Well, it's not Easter egg hunting and zombies, that's for sure. I'll tell you that much. Can everyone just come outside for a second? Just for a second, guys. Okay, this is probably as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so we have more of the Nick Stack Cypher. We have the RCXD car being built on the table. So, dude, is that confirmation 100% that the RCXD car is coming back?
That was already there.
Oh my God, there's too many people. I'm losing it, chat. I'm losing it, chat. Just stop streaming and you'll be fine. Yeah, dude, that sounds like a great idea. I think I'll probably be fine if I just stop streaming. What do y'all think?
Put social distancing in the chat.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
The thing about it is,
guys, please. Guys, please. Please, guys. I need everyone to just leave for 1 second. Just one.
this was me yesterday. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Chat, what do I do? Stealth back out. We're stealth backing out. Stealth back out. Okay, quickly. We have to get into a new lobby before they realize I'm gone. We have to get into a new lobby before the stream snipers realize I'm gone. Stream snipers, I love you guys, but unless you are literally standing outside the shack with a riot shield and not going inside of it, don't join my game, please. I beg, I implore you. Hide the screen. Okay. Wait. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, hide the screen. Hide the screen, everyone. Nothing to see here. Wow, I love Skyrim.
Hey, you.
Don't you guys?
Finally awake.
Don't you guys? Wow.
You were trying to
This
cross
Skyrim
the border,
playthrough is
right?
gonna be so lit, guys.
Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us.
I love
and that thief
Skyrim.
over there. Damn you, storm
Everybody
cloaks.
type POG in the
Skyrim
chat if
was
you like
fine until
Skyrim
we
too.
came. Empire
I'm
was
dead,
nice,
bro.
crazy. If they hadn't been looking for you, you could have stolen that
That's what I'm
horse.
saying, Chris.
Wow.
I've been saying that for a while too. I think we've all been saying that.
Yeah,
shouldn't be here.
You guys,
These storm cloaks
if you're
the
not in my
Empire wants.
game, that's a-okay.
They're all brothers.
Okay, I think we're good. Chat. Are we good? I think we're good. Guys, thank you everyone. Guys, if you do want to help support the stream right here without having to stream snipe me, if you guys do want to support the stream, If you pull up my stream, if you guys do want to support the stream, you get some really cool emotes. Number
Dude, the
one,
fact that
you get
Prestige
exclusive
has been able
access to my
to
merch that's coming up soon. You get early
get all
access
this
before
footage,
it
bro.
sells out.
All right,
that
be safe,
stuff.
love you.
Head to the channel, and then right underneath you can see this join button. I want to see if we get a little membership train. I really want. It's only $5 a month, and you get all the emotes. It's basically like using Twitch Prime. It's becoming a Twitch sub. These are you get the badges next to your name. You can use these emotes in comments on my actual videos. If you guys could do me a huge favor, and I really want these emotes to be cool, and I'm going to be making some merch.
Because Prestige got in there, and he didn't have any problems. So I'm going to go here. We're going to go here. Let's see. All right, so this isn't the best quality, so I apologize. Twitter really fucks that up. But goddamn, this is bad quality. It's like really bad actually. Okay, so we'll just look at this. Okay, so we'll just look at Charlie Intel because at this point I'm just over this. So there's the desk inside the hut has 2 tapes on it, and it's got a similar marking, which is a red marking of what was shown a couple days ago with like the first like trailer, or not the first trailer, but the first teaser or whatever. If we go back all the way back a couple days ago to day 1, which was right here, and as we see right here, this is 3 of 3 broadcast signals need to be okay. So it's got a red marker. Obviously, that's for that, but there hasn't been a red marker with a tape on it yet. A tape has not had a red marker yet, so that's interesting. And I don't think we've seen anything with the. Oh, you know what? This is a dark blue marker, but tape 4 or tape 3 has like a light blue marker. So, if we so let me see how many of these. So that's 3 3 2 3 1 3. That's 2 4 1 1 4, and then the new one. The new one seems to be 3 3. So there's definitely okay. So wait, did the color change? Wait. No, the color didn't change because, well, no, this is 3 3, the same one that's right here. So this is the same one that was. Wait, I thought this was found. So I guess this was already found, but it's the same thing. This was found in the first bunker from farmland, but it's the same piece of paper is in this shack as well. So that's interesting. Obviously the two relate somehow. Let's see. Has he tweeted anything else? The table with the RC cars being built. I wonder if that shack was supposed to be opened at first. I wonder if they accidentally opened the shack like a couple months ago and it was unintentional. And then because like it doesn't look like it's changed. So if we look at Prestige's video, obviously the quality's really bad because of Twitter. But it just kind of seems like that's another file right there. That might be the same file that was found. Okay, so from what I'm looking at, that looks like the same file as, or the same paper as one of these, which was the locations of like Boneyard, these right here, like Quarry, Boneyard. I can't make out which one it is. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't really know. That seems to be okay. So it kind of seems repetitive, like. But we'll watch the We'll watch the other two tapes. We'll check out V3 and see if there's any new numbers in this one.
Union.
So, yeah.
Communism's adventure in Cuba is a
The fact that we have to watch through another 40 minutes of this is
subversive, with paramilitary features. Can a democratic society, wherein the right to know and the value of knowing are basic, can a democratic society wage successful political, psychological, subversive warfare against communism?
Leather is falling into step in the fall fashion parade. Finished in an explosion of rainbow colors, leather has been styled into smocks and sheath-top skirts like this eye-stopping pair. Just the thing for a day's outing at Sterling Forest Gardens in New York.
In Trafalgar Square, 2,000 Londoners demonstrate against the United States blockade.
Fidel Castro whips up a furor in Cuba, charging the United States with arming and training mercenary forces for an imminent invasion. He calls out some 200,000 militiamen for training and guard duty at key points throughout Havana. Khrushchev happily receives a gift of the Cuban flag as he
so
lines
tape
up
one.
with a solid
This is
endorsement
V2.
for the home-brewed anti-Americanism of Fidel Castro, the Soviet sole Western Hemisphere ally.
No, each tape is like 19, 20 minutes.
As he arrives back in Washington, the president hears more bad news. China has just invaded India. Is this part of a two-pronged communist assault? Now the president must weigh all
25 is a number that has shown up in every single tape.
knowing that whatever he does, he risks
Like each time. Like every single version 1 of the tape has 25 in it.
Meanwhile, the United States continues to reinforce its Cuban base at Guantanamo Bay, the naval depot that Castro wants the U.S. to give up. These Marines have been assigned
So it's yeah, they're 20 minutes each. So or like 18, 19 minutes each.
Mr. President, I am
What's up, Avery?
submitting today a resolution to the Security Council designed to find a way out of this calamitous situation. This resolution calls as an interim measure under Article 40 of the Charter for the immediate dismantling and withdrawal from Cuba of all missile and other offensive weapons.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. This is just like I'm in high school again. I was thinking that earlier. 25 maybe means a nuke or nuke kill streak. Frederic's never really done nuke kill streaks though.
Double the 10,000 of 1861. And the bright balmy day is in marked contrast to the gloomy overcast of a century ago. Scenes familiar from history books and movies come to life at the Capitol as Mr. Lincoln arrives. He is portrayed.
The following is the letter which has just been dispatched from the President to Chairman Khrushchev. I think that you and I, with our heavy responsibilities for the
That's obviously the code from the first time.
we're aware that developments were approaching a point where events could have become
Yo, Darth, what's up, man?
unmanageable.
Or Deathbane, what's up, man?
I welcome this message and consider it an important contribution to peace.
It urgently recommends that the United States and the Soviet Union confer promptly on measures to remove the existing threat to the security
What's up,
of
Martin?
the Western Hemisphere and the peace of the world, and to report thereon to the Security Council.
Earlier today, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara announced that yesterday's photographic surveillance of Cuba indicated that the bases were being dismantled.
But with increased United States aid and instruction, Vietnam soldiers learned to fight back against the communist Viet Cong. Helicopters become a crucial weapon against guerrillas who strike, then disappear will-o'-the-wisp in marshes. Southeast Asia and Berlin are not the only hazard areas in the orchestrated struggle of the Cold War. There is Cuba, from which Bay of Pigs invaders hobble back when their ransom is paid.
The President visits the big missile center at Vandenberg Air Force Base. He becomes the nation's first president to see an intercontinental ballistic missile fired. when an Atlas D blasts off its pad to roar down the Pacific Missile Range in a perfect launch.
I can't. When did we do that? I can't remember when we did that one bunker. I remember doing it on stream with you guys because I was like, oh, let's check it out or whatever. But I literally cannot remember when we did it. It was a while ago. It was like months ago. What's up, Chopper? How you doing, brother? Will the phone ever ring? I think it will. Cloudy, Soviet Union, aka Russia.
The French army has seized Algeria in its revolt against de Gaulle. More on that later. In Laos, the government's army suffered its worst defeat of the Civil War, evacuating its last stronghold in north-central Laos. Now the communists may want to begin the ceasefire talks.
And I believe that in the 1950s, the United States can once again capture the imagination of the world.
Chicago, the Windy City, is both windy and snowy in the wake of a storm which leaves more than half a foot. Temperatures drop to 0 during the storm. San Francisco gets the heaviest snow in 30 years. Children, many of whom have never seen snow before, are more spellbound than snowbound, but they soon learn what to do with the stuff.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan arrives in Key West, Florida for a conference with the President on the explosive crisis in Laos. They jointly declare determination to prevent the Southeast Asian kingdom from being taken over by communist-supported rebels. Also discussed is Britain's ceasefire proposal to Moscow.
60. Was that in there yesterday?
To agree to a ceasefire in Laos.
Yeah.
We touched in conversation this subject. I have nothing to say publicly at this moment.
The look for 61 will recall the Jazz Age, and where Paris leads, the rest of the fashion world is likely to follow.
Here was a new symbol of communist ruthlessness. Overnight, East Berlin became a concentration camp, sealing in the inhabitants of that sector. Barbed wire and cement were the answers to the refugee problem.
Khrushchev repeats his threat to sign a separate peace treaty with East Germany, which he claims, wrongly, rights in Berlin.
I was there yesterday too. Yeah.
All U.S. personnel must show identification.
I'm just gonna write these down now.
Section of Berlin. American troops answer with the only language the Reds seem to understand: a show of art.
Castro marks the second anniversary of his revolution with the biggest military parade ever staged in Cuba, featuring tanks and other heavy weapons from Russia and Red Czechoslovakia. Shortly afterwards, Castro demanded the United States Embassy drastically reduce its staff to 11 persons. It was the last straw in his long campaign of provocation and harassment.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal
Before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
The assault has begun on the dictatorship of Fidel Castro. Cuban Army pilots opened the first phase of organized revolt with bombing raids on 3 military bases.
In Havana, Acting Foreign Minister Olivares shows diplomats rockets fired from the Cuban raiders, which he claims have U.S. markings.
These charges are totally false, and I deny them categorically. The United States has committed
Super
no
crazy, like
aggression against Cuba, and no offensive has
how
been
much
launched
they're willing to go for this,
Florida or
in my
from
opinion.
any other part of the United States.
Es un honor para mí el estar hoy entre un grupo de los hombres más
Yeah, Cloudy, that's an Activision game. That's Activision's first published game in 1982.
Castro gloated over his victory and told the world that Cuba was now a socialist nation and would hold no more elections. The next day, the United States officially proclaimed Cuba to be a communist satellite state.
Had his first great success in space when the Russians pushed a man across the threshold.
15 was there.
He was Yuri Gagarin, the astronaut
15 was there yesterday.
recognized as the first to
93, that's new.
begin the coup of the year.
I definitely expected that to happen. Yeah, 93 is new. I was like, 15, okay, that's not new. And then I was like, watch, they're gonna hit us with one right after. And yeah, so 93 is new.
It's 6:20 a.m., a moment of history.
But what do the numbers mean, though? I feel like that's the big thing that not everyone's looking at. Everyone's looking at the bunkers and stuff like that. But like, I feel like the numbers, no one's really thinking, because I feel like we don't have enough information on what the numbers could mean.
115 miles up, he went 300 miles downrange, right on target, and was picked up by waiting helicopters.
37, that's not new.
The triumph of Alan B. Shepard.
That was in the first one. That was in the version 1 of the tape.
As the captain prepared to load the capsule, explosive bolts on the escape hatch let go, and the Mercury is lost. However, the moon gets closer.
Albany, Georgia. A Negro fight against segregation is led by the Reverend Martin Luther King.
Marco, I don't know. I just don't see them doing that. They've never done it for a Treyarch game. So, 15 again. That first 15? That first 15 is new. That's what that is. That first 15 is new. Because if the numbers go to the bunker, there's too many numbers to do that. The thing about it is they're adding other numbers that were already in that, like, yeah, I don't, there's 08, there's 08 again.
Something about which we can all speculate.
At Oxford, integration
That's new, because then I think the next one's 25. I wrote it down yesterday, so.
James Meredith tries to register. The police lines are drawn.
So there's certain numbers that are super repetitive in this stuff.
Contempt of federal court. Governor Ross
25. There it is.
Meredith goes away, and the federal government ponders its next move. The force is increased tenfold and more. It is not enough to avert a night of rioting, leaving 2 dead and the campus the shambles of a battlefield. "75 students and other rioters are arrested. Among those seized, former Major General Edwin Walker, who is charged with insurrection. And James Meredith becomes a duly registered student at the University of Mississippi.
Sir, there's been a great deal of turmoil and conflict. 2 people have been killed. Do you have any...
I feel like 25. 25 has been consistent in every single tape and every single version of the tape. It's been in every single one.
I'm very sorry that anyone had to get hurt or killed. But of course, I think that's an unfair...
I don't think there's been another number that's been in every single tape.
returned from a conference of Congolese leaders in Madagascar, at which it was agreed to convert the republic into a loose confederation. The streets are jammed for a parade in celebration of the decision. But red opposition to the plan is heated, and the pro-Soviet Antoine Gizenga, Lumumba's political heir, still controls key areas and sizable armed forces. The Congo's problems are far from over.
Vienna was a neutral arena for a sparring match between two worlds. The men who hold the power to write tomorrow's history met, smiled, and resolved no problems. The dictator and the president, the East and the West. St. James Church in the Hudson River hamlet of Hyde Park is the scene of last rites for the First Lady of the World, Eleanor Roosevelt. President Kennedy heads the list of distinguished world leaders.
The tapes are, the numbers are going to correspond with the colored ciphers. Which colored ciphers?
There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because
60.
Because that goal will serve to organize
Same number as the beginning.
the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept.
So I'm noticing that in each tape, there's specific numbers that repeat. I want to see if that does it, if it does it for 68 and 69 as well.
Forces of NATO have been alert against the military threat of the communist bloc. Now, honest John missiles add to NATO's striking power.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Frederick, I know what you're talking about now, yeah.
President Kennedy begins a tour of 4 space installations at Huntsville, Alabama, where he is greeted by Dr. Werner von Braun, space pioneer and director of this research and development center. The missiles on display are dwarfed by the mighty Saturn rocket. This booster is the first stage of the rocket that will put the 3-man Apollo capsule into a 2-week orbit of the Earth in 1964. Preliminary to a lunar shoot. Gemini, which was developed here, will allow 2 men to orbit the Earth for 2 weeks and will be used for experiments in outer space rendezvous and docking missions.
Those 2 were there yesterday.
This winds up the president's first-hand look at our space program and our progress in the race for space.
Then 63 should be after this, but
If we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we can take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget.
Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the peoples of Free China on the island of
So
Taiwan,
Snaggy.
heads the
Rich, what's up,
celebration
man?
of the 50th anniversary of the overthrow of the
25 could be a
Manchu
location.
dynasty. 11 million Chinese, strong with their dream of someday wresting their homeland from the communists, are marking the day that saw the end of 4,000 years of monarchy in China.
Khrushchev declared, through the formation of the world system of socialism, the situation in the world has altered radically. At present, it is not circles whom. On December 2nd, 1961, Castro revealed,
That was in there yesterday.
I am a Marxist, Leninist, and will be
That
one
was the
until
last
the day
one
I
yesterday.
die. Socialism is a word.
There's 28.
There is no halfway between socialism and imperialism.
28's new. 28 been another.
As promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup.
They added way more numbers. They added like. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment.
There was 7 in yesterday's tape.
Is being initiated.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 so far today, and we still have 5 minutes left in this.
Found to contain cargoes of
What's up, Ethan?
offensive weapons be turned back. It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack
by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
Communism's adventure in Cuba is a sophisticated one. Political, psychological, subversive, with paramilitary features. Can a democratic society, wherein the right to know and the value of knowing are basic, can a democratic society wage successful political, psychological, subversive warfare against communism?
Leather is falling into step in the fall fashion parade.
Yes, Scott. Yes, Scott. We stream every single morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time until about like 2 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, and then we stream on Twitch around like 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time until about midnight. And then I also have videos come out too.
Fidel Castro whips up a furor in Cuba, charging the United States with arming and training mercenary forces for an imminent invasion. He calls out some 200,000
Those are pens in the background.
At key points throughout Havana.
What's up, Cloudy? There's a table with the RCXD beam belt. Yeah.
Khrushchev happily receives a gift of the Cuban flag as he lines up with a solid endorsement for the home-brewed anti-Americanism of Fidel Castro, the Soviet sole Western Hemisphere ally.
As he arrives back in Washington, the president hears more bad news. China has just invaded India. Is this
Nah, it's all good, Scott. No worries, man.
communist assault? Now the president must weigh all the factors one final time, then make his decision, knowing that whatever he does, he risks nuclear war.
What's up, Carlos?
Meanwhile, the United States continues to reinforce its Cuban base at Guantanamo Bay.
Yo, what's up, Lopez?
The naval depot that Castro wants the U.S. to give up.
Doing pretty good, man. What about you?
Marines have been assigned the job of protecting the base against any Cuban threats that might arise during the present crisis.
Mr. President, I am submitting today a resolution to the Security Council designed to find a way out of this calamitous situation. This resolution calls, as an interim measure under Article 40 of the Charter, for the immediate dismantling and withdrawal from Cuba of all missile and other offensive weapons.
The inauguration of Abraham Lincoln as the 16th President of the United States is reenacted in the nation's capital 100 years after the event. There's a crowd larger than the original president this day, double the 10,000 of 1861. And the bright balmy day is in marked contrast to the gloomy overcast of a...
Yo, Lord, what's up, man? Really, man, looking forward to being more active in your chat. Hey, thanks, man. Look forward to seeing you, bro. Have a good night, man.
He is portrayed...
The following is the letter which has just been dispatched from the President to Chairman Khrushchev. I think that you and I, with our heavy responsibilities for the maintenance of peace, were aware that developments were approaching a point where events could have become unmanageable. So I welcome this message and consider it an important contribution to peace.
It urgently recommends that the United States and the Soviet Union confer promptly on measures to remove the existing threat to the security of the Western Hemisphere and the peace of the world, and to report thereon to the Security Council.
Earlier today, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara announced that yesterday's photographic surveillance of Cuba indicated that the bases were being dismantled.
But with increased United States aid and instruction, Vietnam soldiers learned to fight back against the communist Viet Cong.
Okay, so that's it. So here's the updated tape numbers. So we got 60, 08, 15, 93, 37, 15, 08, 25, 60, 48, 63, 28. That's a lot of damn numbers. Yeah, it's 12 numbers. Okay, so we're gonna watch V2 of 68 and 69. Thank God I'm at the beginning of this. I think, or it's rewinding. Yeah.
For it seems now more certain than ever that the bloody experience of Vietnam is to end in a stalemate. But it is increasingly clear to this reporter that the only rational way out then will be to negotiate, not as victors, but as an honorable people who lived up to their pledge to defend democracy and did the best they could.
I am announcing today my candidacy for the presidency of the United States. I do not run for the presidency merely to oppose any man, but to propose new policies.
So it just seems to me what is required in the United States is not what Vice President Humphrey has said, which is the politics of joy and the politics of happiness, but the politics of reality, what the problems are in the country. I mean, it's all fine that we have all of these. Thank you. You come with me.
Is that Mountain Dew ad?
January 1968, the Tet Offensive. Suddenly, the enemy finds new strength to strike, denying all American tales of progress.
Yo, Barry, what's up, man? DC, what's up, dude?
Their raids against the North. Our military called the attacks necessary, but Hanoi said that no peace talks could begin until the bombing stopped.
In Morocco's capital city of Rabat, crowds estimated at over 1 million jammed the route of the funeral procession of King Mohammed V. His son and heir, King Hassan, and Tunisian President Bourguiba helped carry the bier.
When finally Vice Premier Key had to go on the air to announce a general curfew throughout the city and the imposition of martial law, he had to do it on the American Armed Forces radio station because his own Saigon radio station had been blown to pieces.
15, that's new.
And our naval vessels to make no attacks on North Vietnam, except in the area north of the demilitarized zone where the continuing enemy buildup
15 was also shown in 61, 62 V3.
The North Vietnamese would talk. Gabriel Harriman. With Marshal...
But now, in March, his generals report they need 200,000 more men in Vietnam. These troops he sends to war are fellow citizens. Their warm and precious lives pledged to a cause that many of their countrymen wish to yield. Courage to persist is of the essence of a leader. Courage to stop sometimes takes greater will.
I like how the
For the 8th day in a row, fighting continues here in the
I like how the
Chowan
voice gets
district.
deeper sometimes. It's like eerie, as if someone's controlling it. You know, yeah, that's cool. It's super cool, actually.
President Thieu of South Vietnam said today that anyone who advocates a coalition government for his nation is a traitor. That it will give North Vietnam a total of $45 million in aid and long-term credits.
Yeah. I was in it yesterday.
The minority chants its protest.
At least I think so. No, wait, no, it wasn't. Because when we watched this earlier today, that wasn't there. I don't think. I don't know, I get confused.
I say that when respect for the United States has fallen all over the world, But when it is fallen so low that a fourth-rate military power will hijack an American naval vessel in international waters, then it's time for new leadership for the American people at home. And we should provide
24. That's new, I think.
9. We have ignition sequence start.
Yeah, it is.
The engines are armed. 4.
This 25 hasn't happened yet.
2, 1, 0. We have commit. We have liftoff. Liftoff at 7:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have cleared the top.
Tower clear, 13 seconds.
11:51.
Apollo 8, Houston.
11:51 Eastern Standard Time.
Apollo 8, Houston.
That I'm probably looking too much into that.
Apollo 8, Houston. Apollo 8, over.
Thanks, Lord. I appreciate that, bro.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, day 4 is tomorrow. Yeah.
That's affirmative. Here, the best one to know.
As Borman, Lovell, and Anders stepped onto the carrier deck, a huge and patriotic celebration broke loose in Mission Control. A celebration echoed by the hundreds of thousands of men and women who were Apollo 8.
Step on the moon. What do you think of it?
I can't believe in how short, just 8 years, how long we just made us. We beat the Russians and everything. I can't believe it, that it just happened. And we can see it in our lifetime. And how much we'll probably see, that my whole lifetime. More.
Mountain Dew commercial again. So crazy to see how far commercials have come.
Nowhere is the grotesque nature
Like,
of this
you look
year's
at it
politics
back then,
more
and it's
vivid
like
than in
animated
Washington.
commercials. And then
For the
now,
first time since
it's
the
like
Civil War,
full-blown, like
soldiers must defend
VFX,
the
just
Capitol.
production,
Machine guns
just
turned upon Americans
incredible,
whose laws
incredible
no
stuff.
longer bind.
Люди прочтут в газетах, услышат по радио, как космический корабль пилотирует разгоняющий советского.
Yeah, there's 6 days total on that paper. It's 25. That was there.
The feeling that I had when I won the Olympics was a feeling.
And then there's
so
supposed,
proud
apparently there's 3 more numbers after this, 3 or 4. But I don't know if they're gonna add more into that. It would be pretty crazy if there was like 5 or 6 versions of each tape, or like just imagine. Okay, so like, take listen about that. Like, take a listen. So say like we get version 1. Like, say like we get another tape on day 6 or day 5 or whatever the last day is, and like what happens to the versions that are after those? You know?
Is deemed a fundamental threat to the security of the Soviet system. The excuse...
Nejsilnější jsou u předsednictva vlády, které bylo obsazeno nejprve. Násilím byl odsud vyvlečen premiér Černík. Těla rozmístěná v parcích míří i na Pražský hrad. Tam v těchto chvílích bdí prezident republiky Ludvík Svoboda, který zhruba před 25 lety bojoval v I když už po 2. hodině noční, například ředitele spojů Hoffmana, byly vypnuty vysílače. Později se však statečným spojařům podařilo spojení znovu navázat a rozhlas mohl vysílat dál zprávy o napadení Československa.
I shall not seek, and I will not accept.
You know what would be wild and super trolly?
As your president.
If they did all this
Nixon chooses Chicago to open his assault.
Didn't
on
reveal
Humphrey
the
in
game, the game's next
there,
title.
Only 1 week earlier, streets and parks were battlegrounds.
And they
The
just like
Republican
nuked the fuck out of Warzone.
400,000 people.
And they just like didn't update the. They just like didn't give us like a reveal. That would be so crazy.
And back across the land.
I doubt that
Wherever he
happens.
campaigns,
To be honest.
he underscores his message.
But.
It's been transformed by radio antennas, bunkers, and barbed wire into the joint U.S.-Vietnamese command post. On the airstrip at Lafang, tons of artillery and ammunition are loaded and moved out to forward fire bases. The objective? To hit the enemy anywhere between Da Nang and the DMZ and west into Laos.
Nah, I saw number 11.
The Marines and Airborne.
11 was in the version 1 of the tape yesterday. So. Yeah, I saw 11. There's 12.
Target prior to the attack, allowing the populace to
That's
pass
new.
to escape.
Yesterday it was only 6 numbers. 5 numbers yesterday. It was 6, 25, 11, 19, 16. Today we have 15, 6, 24, 25, 18, 11, and 12.
The youth of today can change the world. And if they understand that, I think that we're going to go forward to a great age, not just for Americans, but for peace and progress for all the people in the world.
It's so crazy how like look how uncomfortable they look. Welcome. $19. And then here's this fucking creepy ass shit. Oh, there's 13. I can sound like the Joker.
This
We
game
don't know,
depends,
NC. We have
however,
no idea, bro.
on his unwritten alliance with Reagan.
Nixon,
open
I
candidacy,
need more rounds.
Reagan now speeds from caucus to caucus. If Reagan can persuade his Southern friends to break their prior pledges to Nixon, the convention will come apart.
What do you think the numbers mean? I feel like we've kind of like talked about it a little bit right now, or like today, but we kind of feel like it might be like an audio. What the fuck? What number was that? Was that 01? Oh, I literally wasn't paying attention. I literally looked to the side of the screen. Was that 01?
Report. At Christmas time, the crew of the USS Pueblo returned home after nearly a year of captivity in North Korea.
There's 16.
Crew were met by relatives in San Diego. After a tearful reunion, the men
I was already there.
unfolded a tale of
01.
torture
Yeah.
at the hands of the communists bent on extracting confessions. Weeks of probing lay ahead, but for the Pueblo crew, it was a time for rejoicing and sorrow.
There's got to be one more after 16.
Astronauts
Maybe.
Neil
I don't
A.
know.
Armstrong, Edwin E. Aldrin, and Michael Collins, the 3 men who will make the next and most historic round trip to the moon.
The men rose early, ate breakfast, and dressed in their space.
Anything happen on the 25th since that number keeps repeating itself? I don't know, but I've noticed 2 numbers have popped up in the past 2 tapes. 15 and 15's has popped up in 61 and 62 version 2, and then
They must work
60
in a
and
weightless
69 version 2.
environment, keeping their spacecraft
And then
themselves in
25
good
has been
condition.
the consistent number
Data
throughout
must
the
be
entire
collected and
thing.
reported. experiments must be performed, including photography both inside and outside the spacecraft. Because of the film speed, these actions appear faster than they actually were.
48 is also a very common. It's not as common as 25, but it's common.
In Vietnam,
Same with 37.
Vietcong rockets hit Saigon
37,
during
15,
about
48,
2.5
and then 25 being the biggest one.
The new communist campaign in Vietnam continues. Just after midnight their time, a band of Viet Cong raiders blew up a power installation and attacked 2 police stations in Saigon. Other small bands still roam the city.
Hamburger Hill was the biggest engagement so far in Operation Apache Snow, started 3 weeks ago. The objective of the operation was not the hill, but control of the A Shau, the main infiltration route threatening northern coastal cities. After the 101st Airborne Division troopers wrested Hamburger Hill from the enemy, there was a pause in the fighting. The big guns were cleaned.
The 10-day offensive against the dug-in enemy cost 55 American lives and 300 wounded. Enemy losses are put at 400.
President Nixon's interest is in getting the U.S. out of the war in some acceptable way, whereas President Thu's interest is in seeing his own government survive the end of the war.
In North Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh died. He had led his communist forces through 3 decades of warfare. After defeating the French, he fought the U.S. and her allies for 9 years.
I believe we must take risks for peace, but calculated risks, not foolish risks. We shall not trade our defenses for a disarming smile or charming words.
Nixon.
We are prepared for new initiatives in the control of arms in the context of other specific moves to reduce tensions around the world. I believe that America is not going to become a garrison state or a welfare state or a police state simply because the American people will defend our values from those forces, external or internal, that would challenge or erode.
The moment you mention nuclear weapons today, a lot of people get jittery and they seem to don't even want to discuss it. Nuclear weapons are a deterrent to war. We ought to remain the strongest nuclear power in the world. And we won't use any weapons unless we have to. But we will use any weapons if necessary to protect America and her people.
More than 350,000 people, mostly young people, showed up to hear the greatest rock groups in the country. The promoters billed it as 3 days of peace and music. And for most people, it was just that. Little thanks to the promoters. There were many problems.
Yeah, numbers are could possibly be for the ciphers for sure.
Good morning. It'll be 2 or 3 days before all the people leave the peace and quiet of the Catskill Mountains. It may be longer before this area returns to normal. Despite the problems, and there were many problems, though they were not...
Tablets or liquid.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Underneath it says, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. It came in peace." I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene. That's all right, I don't mind a bit. How is the quality of the TV? Oh, it's beautiful, Mike. It really is. Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent? Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Astronauts Collins, Aldrin, and Armstrong came out of their sealed quarantine tank last night and today had their first day at home in peace. But it will not last long. The schedule in front of them is in some ways more arduous than their trip to the
We don't
moon.
know, Jonathan. All right, that was it. So the numbers that we got for 1968, 1969 version 2 tape is, okay, so hold on. So we got 15, 06, 24, 25, 18, 11, 12, 19, 13, 1, and 16. All right, and then I guess the and then yeah, if you go here, so we go to EMC2. Day 4 is tomorrow, so you know what I haven't had pop up on my screen? The what's it called? The fuck, what is it? It's the that thing that pops up on the screen like when you're playing Warzone. Playing Warzone after this? I mean, we're almost done. We're almost done. I kind of want to make this TikTok real quick and kind of get this up. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna make this TikTok real quick. I'm gonna try and get this uploaded because I've been uploading those like late, and like I feel like if I upload them early, then it'll be better. So yeah. I will see you guys later. I am gonna get some stuff done. Hopefully, we can upload a video or something like that. The numbers, they're on my Twitter. The numbers are on my Twitter. So the new bunker with the code, yeah, I've already seen it. So yeah, for late 70s is probably tomorrow. That's a good assumption. I would say. So yeah, I'll be live tonight on Twitch, guys. We'll be live playing with the homies probably. Just like chilling, hanging out. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.